It seems to me that China is now sending very clear signals, and in this case also Russia, to the incoming Biden administration. Is that something that you'd agree with?
Oh, yes. They definitely realized something that I think is going to be unique about Joe Biden's first day in office as compared to Obama's and Trump's, is for Obama's first day and Trump's first day, there was never a real consensus over what our priorities were with regards to Russia and China. There was never an agreement over which one's relations were getting worse, getting better, more important, more threatening. But because of the last 4 years, one thing that is no longer ambiguous is that both China and Russia are adversaries, and both people on both sides of the political spectrum kind of agree on that in ways they didn't before. So the call between the leader of China and Russia made sense to me because they realized regardless of how Biden may do things differently, their relations with the U.S. are going to be much different. And so, there's strength in numbers. And so they're combining their forces so that they can actually maybe respond in some ways together against the United States.
Right. So President-elect Joe Biden talked about allies, stronger coalitions with like-minded partners and allies against China on the trade and economic fronts. But it seems to me, if you look at the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which is the largest trading bloc, where China is the sort of linchpin of that, and now with the EU trade deal, it seems to me that President-elect Joe Biden might not be left with too many allies in trying to take on China on the trade and economic fronts.
Well, I think that you're right. There will be challenges in rebuilding those allied relationships, but I think he'll have some success simply because we all know that for the last 4 years, Donald Trump has made it very clear that he has an America First approach, which usually turned out to be America alone. And the way that he dealt with a lot of these allies and potential allies, was off-putting. Sometimes it was erratic. There wasn't a strategy behind it. I think with the Biden administration, while there will be that same skepticism from these allies and potential allies because of U.S. foreign policy, I think that they have a better chance of making progress towards those allied relationships. Because one thing we know for sure is that Biden is not going to have an outreach and strategy that is erratic, irrational, or in some cases xenophobic.
Right. On that, I totally agree with you. Thank you so much. That was Calvin Dark giving us his view. This is all from In Focus this week.